AI is the rage, whether you're in performance marketing, online marketing, advertising, or you just have some local business. I think everyone that you probably know in your professional life has mentioned something about AI or ChatGPT in some way, shape, or form. And or you have read many stories on the news and on CNN or Fox or whatever the hell you follow, and you're seeing that the world is going to end, we're all going to lose our jobs and be replaced by robots. No. And my honest opinion of this is that a lot of it's bullshit. There's some truth to it. Actually, I saw something really interesting. Someone shared on a screenshot of the founder of Upwork, which is the largest marketplace for independent contractors. I've hired from there. Actually, two of my best team members are from Upwork. And Upwork, the founder basically put it in a really interesting way. It's kind of like from a place of fear, right? Which I understand because, I mean, his business is going to be hugely impacted over time, probably not just over the course of a month at any given time in the near future. But he says something really interesting. What is easy today is going to be what gets automated. What is hard today is going to become the new normal. And then what feels impossible is going to become hard in the future. And I do believe that with AI and just the little things that we've used it for on a very deep level with marketing and developing websites and landers and optimizations and automations, these changes are coming. But I think what people forget is that what I believe at least, yes, a lot of the simple jobs that can be automated will be automated for cost savings and efficiency and because it makes sense, right? As harsh as that may sound or feel, it's just a reality. It's going to happen. Now, what people are forgetting though is there are going to be tons of opportunities, and I'm seeing it already. There's going to be tons of opportunities that open up for people that know how to use AI to actually work, right? So for example, I've came across this awesome, amazing tool called Lovable AI. Now, it is not an online dating app. It is actually a developer that you can use to prompt, right? So what does that mean? That means if I want to build a specific style or design a website, I literally describe it and then tell it how to function. And it's not going to work right away. It's not going to be perfect. And this goes back to my point. But you will see that it basically designs exactly more or less what you prompted to an extent, right? And then maybe 30 to 60 minutes later, depending how efficient you are at clarifying and prompting and describing exactly what you want, you will have a final product, right? And this may sound simple, like building a website. Sure, it's become much easier. There's tons of templates and website builders out there, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about I literally am building sites from scratch, customized with the design, the experience, the flow, and the back-end functions where we're passing data or customizing the user experience as they go through like a survey, for example, and then capturing certain data points, adding timer delays on when we pass data back to our CRM or when we fire lead events in our advertising pixel, right? So there's all sorts of customizations, nuances that if I were working with a developer, whether it's like a lower cost outsourced in the Philippines or in India, typically where you're going to find a lot of developers, or Eastern Europe, or even like a front-end more like a front-end designer, web designer, graphic designer, even if whether I'm hiring someone in the States or hiring someone in Asia or Eastern Europe, the cost, even at the lowest tier of cost, is still far more than what it's costing me to take 30 to 60 minutes out of my day to prompt and test things myself by just giving the app guidance, literally talking to it like I'm talking to a developer that speaks English. A lot of these developers are very bad communicators because they're geeks, they're nerds, right? So the reason why I'm saying this is because this is a great example of, yes, things will get automated, but in reality, a good developer that understands scripting and coding and how these things work and function should be asking themselves, how do I get really good at prompting this app to do exactly what I want it to do, or what the customer wants it to do if they're building websites for businesses, right? So the job essentially that I'm filling by being the prompting engineer of the marketing funnel build, I have replaced that developer and I'm getting a faster outcome, but it's really like a job in itself. So is the doom and gloom reality that a lot of people paint the picture of the future where none of us are working and a lot of people are lost in life? Is some of that going to be true? Sure. But there's also going to be a lot of other things that come about that we can't even picture or imagine, like what I'm talking about right now. I wasn't thinking, how do I become a prompt engineer so I can be efficient at using AI? That was basically a problem that came about itself, and then we're seeing solutions where, either the tools get really good at prompting, but they still need to receive prompts from somewhere, right? So I want to challenge you as a business owner or even as an employee, if you're thinking about this and saying, oh man, the world's going to end, we're all screwed, my job's going to be replaced. It's going to be replaced in some ways. The very basic fundamental functions of it are going to be automated to an extent, but what can you do to set yourself up to be even better at what you're doing and who you are and what you do by learning to be the driver of the AI machine behind the job, role, and outcome you create already? I think the people that are asking that question and actively practicing it, even on a basic level, I'm definitely a newbie. I'm probably more advanced than most people watching this, but I'm not a full stack developer. You could put a bunch of script and code in front of me, and I literally would have to put in the ChatGPT to understand what's happening, right? So I'm not an expert with this stuff, but I'm just putting the reps and time in and building it for what I need and also learning the process. And I am absolutely blown away because even a year ago, there was no software that was even close to this, right? And but it's also got a long way to go. So I find myself still having ChatGPT or Claude.ai open, and when Lovable doesn't give me the outcome I want with the design, I prompted for a certain format or fit or function of the page with the buttons or whatever, and it doesn't do it, I then go back to ChatGPT, ask it for what its opinion is, and then I take that response and prompt it back in the Claude, right? So there's still curve to this. It's going to get better. It's going to get better very fast, like exponentially fast, which we've seen with other AI functions and features of other tools and large language models. But it's exciting, to me at least, because if you choose to accept this, because it is the reality and it is the future, you're gonna be able to put yourself in a position to really freaking win with it. So next time you get frustrated or maybe feel some anxiety, overwhelmed, because I do feel this sometimes, I'm like, shit, like I'm not old, but I'm not super young. What am I gonna do, right? I do have these thoughts in my head, it's scary, right? I don't have kids yet. I can't imagine if let's say you're not in a position where you have nearly enough money to retire and you have kids, like it's a reality. You could lose your job. Like it's a total real possibility. So whether that is your reality or not, or even if you're in a great financial position, I think still asking ourselves these questions and looking at how we can start to practice and get repetitions and learn. It's still early. It's still the wild, wild west. There's no true experts. The people out there pitching themselves as experts are really more like just gurus that started playing around with this stuff and they spend a lot of time doing it. There's no true experts because we're all still learning. This field is still evolving rapidly. And there's also new opportunities coming up, like Lovable.ai did not exist even maybe a few months ago. Like I just heard about it. And I'm late to the game. Even though I'm super early, I feel like I'm late to the game. So that is what's going on in my world and what I've personally been doing, even though full stack developing is not my job title and I just understand the outcomes and general functions. I'm not an expert. I don't know how to code, but I can. And that's the super cool part about it. So let me know your thoughts, what you think about AI, what you think about the future. And I'd love to just hear what's going on in your mind and what you're using it for. See you in the next video.